If Americans go out and vote like they feel, if Americans go out and vote what they want, this is what they have in store for them. Check this out.
Democrats will likely expand their grip on the House. Joining me now, Cook Political Report House editor and MSNBC contributor David Wasserman. Dave, let's talk about those House seats and what it could mean going forward for the president, for the top of the ticket.
Yeah, Andrea, look, we're looking at a potential expansion of Democrats' majority for Nancy Pelosi of about 5 to 15 seats, which is the opposite of what we thought might happen last year. And I talked to a senior House Republican who said he'd be pleasantly surprised by a Republican loss of only 10 seats. We are seeing multiple polls out of districts that Romney carried by 15 plus and Trump carried by 10 plus in 2016, where Joe Biden is now ahead. These are suburbs of places like Indianapolis, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Phoenix, San Antonio. And this suggests real problems for Republicans up and down the ballot, because in 2016, this is the time when we began seeing flashing red warning signs in district level polls for Hillary Clinton in places with large numbers of non-college whites. Now we're seeing flashing red warning signs for the president in these suburbs.
And then in the Senate, let's talk about those races. We've got 7 Republicans now that you say are in toss-up races, according to your latest report. And you say that races in 4 states are, critical for Republicans, even, fighting to keep their majority.
Yeah, so right now it does look like Democrats will get to 48 by picking up Arizona and Colorado and losing Alabama. But the key races beyond that, Maine looks good for Democrats. North Carolina and Iowa are right at the tipping point of Senate control, and those both look pretty good for Democrats at the moment. And then take your pick of Montana, both Senate races in Georgia, and potentially South Carolina, and there is a plausible Democratic path to 52, 53 seats or more. Texas is a real sleeper, potentially. We are looking at massive turnout in Texas that could have unpredictable results at the presidential and Senate levels.
And in fact, Senator Cornyn is beginning to show some signals, private signals of kind of being a little nervous or walking away from President Trump on a couple of issues. What about the big race, of course, the showdown between Donald Trump and Joe Biden? Several battleground polls showing Biden ahead of Trump by double-digit leads. There are some skeptics. I'm skeptical of the latest numbers coming out of Pennsylvania. It's not what even party people are telling me there. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Andrea, if we go back and look at polling from 16 and 18, there's a clear pattern where polls underestimated Republicans in the upper Midwest. They underestimated Democrats in the Southwest. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Biden ends up winning states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin by less than the polls show, maybe 4 or 5 points instead of 7 on average. But I also wouldn't be surprised if we see a Biden breakthrough that's larger than expected in Arizona, potentially even Texas and Georgia.
Now think about that. Potentially Texas. Folks, this is the current reality. That is what the polls are saying. The polls are statistically correct. Again, they use basic science in the way they interpret the randomness of the data for their calculations, etc. But you have to perform. You are the one who have to go out there and make your wants materialize. And that comes with what? Your vote. So get out there and vote. Vote in person if you can. Vote by mail only if you must. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.